Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is that time again, not that time, but the favorites time of the month, and I wanted to share with you the things that I have been loving. I've got my pad right here, and I've listed the things that I have been loving last month. The first thing is vlogging. Ever since I got my Olympus camera and then I got my mini tripod from Manfrotto, I have been really enjoying vlogging, and whether that's time-lapse or just kind of taking my camera around with me and filming things around where I would go usually. I like it, and I love editing videos, so that's, yeah, I've been really liking that. The next couple things are actually iPhone games, or phone games if you would. I have been loving this game called 1010 exclamation mark. I think it's kind of like a Tetris game, and then I'm not really sure what the whole goal is besides to stay alive basically for as long as possible. So basically it shows you 3 different pieces at a time, and you have to make sure that each piece would fit in the board. And I have been obsessed with it. I have been like seriously playing it non-stop. And then the second game that I have been loving, or I kind of fell in love with it all over again, is Best Fiends. I loved it, I think late last year, and then I discovered 1010, and then I stopped playing Best Fiends as often as I used to. But now I love them both as much as, I mean, any game really. So instead of reading books, I'm playing these games. Okay, so before we get on to the beauty kind of topic, let's talk about lifestyle a little bit. I really enjoyed this old TV show. I think it was like back in 2013. It's called The Tomorrow People, and I discovered it because I have been absolutely loving the actor Luke Mitchell. He is currently playing Roman in Blind Spot, which is my favorite TV show pretty much every month, so I'm not even gonna mention that in any detail. But I just have been enjoying his performances in whatever shows that I can find him in. And I found that he used to be in a show called The Tomorrow People, and it was only 1 season. It got canceled, unfortunately, after the first season. When you try to analyze it, it's not as strong of a story as other shows out there. Probably why it got canceled. But that's not why I kept watching it. Unfortunately, the actors, pretty much every single one of them, were all objectified on screen. And I know that's not something that you would want on anyone, but I definitely enjoyed it. So if you want to see gorgeous people with minimal clothing sometimes, not all the time, but you know, when they fight, they take off their shirts. But yeah, definitely check it out if you can. Before I move on, I want to just kind of mention a little bit more about Luke Mitchell. He is an Australian actor, and I just really like the way that he acts. It seems so good. It just kind of makes me want to get back into acting and really commit to it. But I know that one of my biggest challenges is that I cannot commit to a character, and so watching him perform is so inspiring, and yeah, it's amazing. Okay, enough making a fool of myself. Let's move on to skincare. I have been loving Hydra, which you probably already know. This is an amazing serum. Definitely check it out if you can get a hold of it. They are a Canadian company, and they ship to the US and Canada. And then I've also been loving this Fab First Aid Beauty Vanilla Citron. This is the intense hydration cream that they have, but it's infused with vanilla citron, and I have been really loving it because it's somehow creamier, I feel like, compared to the original. So I have been really loving this, and it smells amazing. I think it's the vanilla. And then, I mean, when you think about it, mix vanilla with eucalyptus, which this has. Can you imagine that? It's amazing. I definitely recommend this. And last but not least, my makeup favorites, and it is from the same brand. You know how much I've been loving my Tarte products. So the first one is this Tarte Airbrush foundation. I rediscovered this last month because my skin had some sort of a flare-up. There was a lot of problems with my chin as usual because it was cold, there's no moisture in there, and my face hates that kind of environment. I just rediscovered this because I really didn't want to use liquid foundation because it's just gonna cake up on my face. I have mine in Fair Light Honey, and this one says fair to light skin with peach undertones, not understone. What the heck is understone? The only reason I got this shade was because I have a little bit of rosacea on my face, and this is a yellow tone foundation, so yeah, I like it. The very last favorite that I have is this Tarte Power Pigment Lip Crayon, and this is in Natural Beauty. I think I mentioned it in my last video that I have been loving this a lot. I think I even hauled it. Oopsie, sorry if I'm mentioning it again, but I have been really enjoying this. And then now, I don't know, it could change, but in March, I'm liking the more nude lips again. So yeah, I definitely would recommend the pigments because they really are long lasting. That is all that I have to share with you today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.